Kept you waiting, huh? I bet you wasn't thinking this video was ever coming, were you? Well, it's here. Late. Again. Oh well, let's go, I guess. Yep, it's me again, folks, with another indie report. I played this game on November the 1st, 2017, and it's taken me this long to get this together. The game is Doki Doki Literature Club. It was developed by Team Salvato, published by Team Salvato, and it was released on the 22nd of September, 2017. Oh yeah, and it's completely free to play. And no, that's not a trick. At least, not your usual kind of free-to-play trick. If you found this video, then congratulations! You have found one of the few videos online which can talk about this game in a structure that at least warns you before spoiling fucking everything. If I do a good job, please like or share this video. Not only does this help me in more ways than you'll ever know, but it could very well be the difference between if I make a video like this again or not. If I don't ask for these things, people don't seem to do them, so here I am asking you guys. I won't lie, it was hard to talk about this game without mentioning spoilers that will destroy that entire first time only playthrough experience for you. Not to mention some more personal reasons, but I'll get into those later. Doki Doki Literature Club, which I will now refer to from this point as DDLC to save time, barely qualifies as a game. And that's thanks to it having only a few player choices, and all the aesthetic looks and sounds of visual novel trash people who regularly use Steam see all the damn time these days. But what is a visual novel? Well, for those who are not familiar with the phrase visual novel, they're kind of the next evolution step of those old choose your own adventure books, which were sort of like Dungeons and Dragons. If you choose to go left, go to page 7 in the book. If you choose to go right, go to page 9. And if you choose to jump down the hole, go to page 11. By the way, you died now. But this is games on Steam we're talking about here, and as anyone who regularly checks games on Steam knows, there is a lot of crap on Steam now. DDLC is actually a subgenre of choose your own adventure interactive storytelling in the form of a dating sim. So now I guess I need to explain what a dating sim is as well, don't I? Well, it's kind of what happens when you combine those old choose your own adventure books with those often cheesy self-insert into the story romance novels. Add some varying levels of Dungeons and Dragons style stat management, basic video game choice interactions, and varying levels of Japanese anime lewd and weirdness depending on the visual novel, and boom! That's basically what a dating sim is. I won't go into great detail on why visual novels and dating sims have grown so popular in recent years, but I will say they mostly exist for fantasy fulfillment for socially and or romantically unfulfilled, shy and anxious people. The writing is typically not exactly Shakespeare, but there are a few genuinely well written stories out there. So the internet tells me, because DDLC is actually the first one of these kinds of games I've played instead of just researching about it. The idea of interactive visual novel, and more so dating sims as a concept, is Japanese in origin. But thanks to the internet and more so Steam, this type of video game has actually been taking off now globally in a big way, branching off into more styles. But again, as is typical for Steam games, most of the finished visual novels and dating sims on there are pretty terrible. Low budget, often as little work as they can get away with. When you've played as many video games as I have, you start to see stereotypes which tend to be associated with certain kinds of games. Like for example, first-person shooters where you're the one-man army and only you can save the world. Dating sims have their own versions of video game tropes as well, and Doki Doki makes no attempts to break the mold in that sense. If you know what I mean when I say things like harem, and I hope Senpai notices me, and it's not as if I like you or anything, Baka. You will know exactly what to expect with this game. But here's the thing. DDLC is deeper than the sum of its dating sim visual novel parts, especially compared to the usual crap you see on Steam. For one, the game has multiple endings. It's impossible to see everything in the game in one playthrough, and there is some tough player choices involved. I know most of that doesn't sound like a big deal, but many visual novels on Steam don't even do the things I just said. So yes, on the surface, this is basically a visual novel dating sim, but straight from the moment you boot the game, you know you're in for something a bit weird. Why? Because the game gives you a mental health warning before you even get to the title screen. You play the game as a typical faceless, supposed to be you, I suppose, teenage character, although I suggest you don't use your real name when you're naming yourself, who's making the decision of joining an after-school club so he isn't a social outcast neat anymore. Your childhood friend, because yeah, we have that trope in this game as well, basically kind of playfully nags you to join the club she's in, and things kind of continue from there. If you're familiar with anime, Japan, manga, this is going to be just standard, borderline harem, paint-by-numbers story crap to you. Full of your typical anime girl tropes, all wanting deep down to be your BFF or much more, with a bit of encouragement. The cute trying to be tough and cold until you get to know her one, the optimist, everyone's friend, airhead one, the dark, mysterious, smart one, and the Miss Perfect. Visual novels set in a character's teen years are some of the most popular around, but why? I guess it reminds players of more simple times as young, barely adults with endless possibilities, but also rocking some new rose-tinted glasses. DDLC worked some of this cliched magic on me too, but depending on who you ask, I've been called a weeaboo more than once, so keep that in mind. So that means the game is no big deal, right? Nothing to see here? You're wrong, I assure you. Much like some of the best story-driven indie video games in the last few years, the less you know beforehand, the more this game will surprise you. That includes avoiding the fandom, and yes, even searching about this game on Google. Thanks to some good friends, I'm one of the few people who's played this game nearly entirely spoiler-free, and I can easily say I had a better experience as a result of that. I've even seen people recommend this game to others who would normally hate Japanese anime and manga. It's that special, and you know what? I'll recommend it too. Because DDLC, pokes, among other things, fun at anime, dating sims, visual novels, and video game tropes, many limitations and flaws. And as a result, this game is easily one of the biggest good surprises I had in 2017. In fact, it's one of my favourite games from that year. Your first playthrough will take somewhere between 8 to 4 hours, depending on how fast you read, but if you plan to stream this game, make damn sure you have a good moderation team with you, because the chat will not be able to stop spoiling everything to you on this game. So what is the strange thing that makes DDLC unique? The simple spoiler-free answer is the characters, but the more detailed spoiler-free answer is your playtime. Also depends on how deep into the DDLC rabbit hole of mystery you want to go. My favourite music, movies, video games, you name it, either fill me with a positive energy I never had before, or leave me with a feeling of fuck, I wish I thought of making this or being involved in the creation process at least. DDLC for me is definitely the latter. The looping cheesy music, the sickly cute characters, the limited choices that get through the game. You could argue they're flaws, but the difference between this and a lot of other dating sims is it's all intentional. I'm right on the verge of spoilers territory here though, so I should answer the question now, is this game for you? Well, if me telling you a lot by telling you a little, and the style intrigues you, Not to mention that warning at the start doesn't scare you away from even touching this game. It's free. What do you have to lose? But I say again, do not Google this. Even Google searches have spoilers for this game. Hell, knowing my luck, you know what? Don't even look at the related videos for this game. I don't trust YouTube to not spoil the game for you either. It's that bad. Unless, of course, those videos are by yours truly. So the review is over now, and now the deeper talk begins. I'm giving you until the countdown is gone on the screen to save yourself from spoilers, or ruin your first experience of this game forever. Oh, that's funny, you thought I was going to spoil the game in the same video. Nah, that's in another video, which should be appearing on your screen right about now. Or if it's not there now, it will be very soon, so check back here. As I analyze each of the characters from my own perspective. Until then, this is me, the RWG, AKATheSKay, saying, don't Google this game. No, seriously, don't do it.